Hey, Dunsparce 1242 here. People asked, and gosh darn it, I'm here to deliver. Today, we'll be painting Ash Ketchum. Ash Ketchum. Yeah. Anyway, for those of you watching on YouTube, this is by no means the first ketchup painting I've done. In fact, we're about halfway finished with the original 151 Pokemon over on TikTok. I've got the same username there as I do here, but I'll go ahead and drop a link in the description for anyone interested. Oh, and if you don't want to use TikTok, that's fine too. I do have some polishing up I'd like to do for my earlier videos, but they will all eventually find their way over here. With that out of the way, I am proud to start this Q&A. Right off the bat, I'd like to answer Scarlett's lowball question. With ketchup? Yes, Scarlett, and to all other curious viewers, almost all of my paintings are done with ketchup as the sole medium. There is but one exception, which brings us right to our next question. Hunter asks, have you tried using other condiments to color things? I have. As a bit of a celebration for upgrading my recording setup just in time for Pikachu, I gave the mascot of this beloved franchise the honor of being painted primarily with mustard. Of course, staying true to form, I made sure to paint their iconic red cheeks with ketchup. This next question has been asked a couple times, as you can see here, and although I recognize it is a rhetorical question, I'd like to share my process and how it has evolved from the early days of this project. For the first 25 paintings, the introductory video and Bulbasaur through Arbok, I was painting with the same materials you see here. Ketchup, my trusty coffee stirrer, and a pink plastic knife which may or may not actually appear in this video. While I have broken 2 knives and gone through several bottles of ketchup, the coffee stirrer has stayed the same, as has my canvas. Said canvas is a table that is roughly 32 by 32 inches, or 2 foot 8 inches on each side. That's just over 80 centimeters for our friends across the pond. And, well, practically everywhere else on the planet. Anywho, before I got my cantilever device with the ring light attachment to really up my game, I was using a pretty janky setup. Basically, I had my phone lying on top of the tallest book I had, with the camera facing the table. I also had 3 other books stacked behind the book that was supporting my phone. They offered support and prevented the standing book from falling backwards, but there was nothing preventing it from falling forwards and potentially ruining the painting. Save my watchful eye and mediocre reflexes. There are a handful of instances in the earlier videos where the book and phone do fall. Let's just say I'm glad those days are in the past. Oh, I also bought a dedicated microphone to use for these videos, which makes its debut in the Pikachu video. As for the actual process, I sit down, usually after everyone else has gone to bed, and paint with the reference image handy until the wee hours of the morning. I tend to finish right around the time most early risers are getting ready to go to work. To give actual times, I tend to paint from 11:30 or midnight until 5 or 6 in the morning. Our next question is from Call Me Lou Not Chat, and it expands on my process a little. What do you do with all the ketchup after? So, I clean up and remove every trace of these paintings at the end of each video. The cleanup process usually takes about a half hour. The only record of these paintings is what you see here. Something about this process of creation and destruction is incredibly therapeutic for me. But I'd be remiss if I focused entirely on the painting aspect of these videos. My love for Pokemon is what brought me to this project, and that's what our next question focuses on. Toby Slumacell is derived from Dumacell, which is German for Dunsparce, asks, what are your top 3 favorite Pokemon? As much as I love this question, and as simple as it seems at face value, it's actually pretty difficult for me to explain. To put it simply, the true answer is, I don't have any favorites. I truly have equal fun with any Pokemon I happen to be training, battling with, competing in a contest with, or walking with in games with that feature. Sure, there is a ridiculously high number of Pokemon that I've never used on my team in a main series game, and there is an embarrassing amount of Pokemon with whom I have only a passing familiarity, but given the opportunity, I am able to have fun with each of them. Some are just a bit more satisfying to win battles with, but even that can be taken two different ways. For instance, Rayquaza can enter a battle, Mega Evolve, and dominate with their ridiculous stats, and my homie Dunsparce can Dynamax and sweep after setting up a few coils and getting off a Max Quake or two. Heck, sometimes Dynamax isn't even required if you play it right. I find both incredibly satisfying, though naturally I feel the victory with Dunsparce is more significant. Now, all that being said, if you were to force me to sit down and break apart the list of all the Pokemon until I found my top 3 favorites on, say, dragonflycave.com, the following 3 Pokemon would top the list. Snorlax, Alakazam, and Magikarp, of course. Dunsparce is number 4, but what can I say? I'm a sucker for the original series. I won't share the rest of my list right now, but don't worry, it shows that I'm anything but a Gen 1er. Since we're on the topic of favorites, this batch of questions featured above has to do with that. I know I'll be answering this question frequently for the foreseeable future, but I don't mind it. For now, at least. Anyway, as I've said before, I don't know whether I'll go beyond the original 151. I definitely had no plans of doing so at the beginning of this project, but I'd be lying if I said I hadn't considered it with every comment requesting a painting of a Pokemon from Gen 2 onward. As for Generation 1 Pokemon, I will continue posting one each day on TikTok until I get to Mew. On YouTube, I'll be posting one evolutionary family each day, with a few exceptions. For example, I'll be posting the remastered introduction video this next Sunday. Then, on Monday, I'll post Bulbasaur, Ivysaur, and Venusaur. On Tuesday, I'll post Charmander, Charmeleon, and Charizard. And Wednesday, I'll post Squirtle, Wartortle, and Blastoise. For Pokemon like Farfetch'd, who have no evolutions in Generation 1, they will be the only Pokemon posted that day. To return to the first half of my answer to this question, there are a few questions featured above that are getting at similar ideas. What comes next? Now, it's not that I haven't thought about next steps, but my instinct is to say, let's just enjoy the journey and see where it takes us. I know no one wants to hear that, though. To answer Slumicel's question directly, even if I don't go beyond the original 151, I will definitely do something special for Dunsparce. You'll just have to stay tuned to see what exactly. Clay asks more directly, what happens when you're done with all 151 Pokemon? I will say this much. I do have something planned. Well, a few things really. I've got a lot to do to make those plans a reality, but I am 1000% determined. Those plans are slightly related to this next question from A. Would you do Sanrio characters if you're done with this series? This is a tricky one. I don't want to close myself off to opportunities like that, but I firmly believe that my Pokemon paintings come out so well because of the love I pour into them. That love comes from a lifetime spent playing with these creatures and developing a close familiarity with each of them. In other words, if I were to start another non-Pokemon related project, it would have to be something I cared deeply about, and could find myself able to talk about at length while still keeping it fresh. For me, and for you all. So, for now, I'll say I have no plans of painting all the Sanrio characters. However, once I finish the original 151, who knows? I just might open up requests for commissions if it seems there is interest in it. We'll just have to wait and see where this journey takes us. Whew. That was a lot. Let's take a break with a more simple question. This one is also from Clay. What's your favorite color? Orange. Break time's over. Back to the painting related questions. This is another question that has been asked a few times, but I'll be highlighting my favorite version of it. How did bro even figure out he had this talent? First of all, thank yous after Mawu. Secondly, it's not as involved as you might think. I attempted to draw my profile picture as a joke for a friend back in early September. It was definitely done on a whim, and I didn't take any time whatsoever, so poor Dunsparce did not come out well at all. Despite this, I still ventured out on this journey, and I painted the introductory video the next night. I've been painting practically every night since. I feel like I'm forgetting one crucial element though. Oh well, I'm sure it'll come to me. In the meantime, here's one of the most cursed montages I've ever witnessed. I'm sure you'll think the same. Man, that was something, wasn't it? I'll probably butcher this pronunciation, but DT Saranya is one of the most devoted commenters, and I felt I owed them a little something as tribute. I'll go a step further and encourage you all to check out their page. They are a phenomenally talented artist, and their art is definitely underappreciated. Seeing all their comments also jogged my memory. There's one last question that I'm sure a lot of you have. It's definitely the most popular question I've gotten since starting this project. Why ketchup? Well, to answer that, I'll have to go back to one of my previous answers and expand on it slightly. When I attempted to draw my profile picture for my friend that fateful night in early September, I had been frantically searching for a pen or pencil and a piece of paper. I couldn't find any of those things, but what I did find was a packet of ketchup and a coffee stirrer. By all rights, I should have laughed off such a discovery, but I went ahead and painted my first ketchup painting. I think back occasionally, now that I am almost 3 months into this project, about how this whole thing might never have happened. But here we are. And honestly, I couldn't be happier. I'd like to feature one more talented artist whose page you should check out on TikTok. Casual Dofessional. As you can see above, they coined the slogan of this journey that I've endeavored on. I also want to thank each and every one of my regular viewers and everyone who found this video and offered some support. It truly means the world to me. Now, for the grand reveal. For the first time, I am proud to present Ash Ketchum. I hope you all enjoyed this video, but let me know what you think. I'll see y'all tomorrow. And remember, gotta catch 'em all.